Good morning, and here we are on the last day of 2022. I have never made any secret of my intent because I always believe, I'd be of the same line of thinking of Marcus Aurelius. Never do anything behind a curtain. Because if you feel you're doing the right thing, you don't have to give two fucks about what you're doing. It's a case of fuck everybody else and what they fucking think. And this is the whole thing about establishing your own values and defining your own morality. If I do it, I think it's right. And if I think it's right, I don't give a fuck what anybody else thinks. Do you know what I mean? Now, but if I think I'm going sneaking around thinking I'm doing the fucking wrong thing or doing something that I should be guilty or shameful of, well, now I'm going to have a fucking problem. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to, this is what Jean-Paul Sartre said. Jean-Paul Sartre used to bring home schoolgirls and they used to take lines of speed, and himself and the missus, Simone, it's French, his missus anyway, who was also a philosopher. But they used to bring home young girls and they used to snort speed and have the best of parties. But as a result of this, Sartre said, hell is other people. And what Sartre meant by this is hell is other people. It means when other people found out about it and started imposing their morality about it, I think he got a stint in the jail. But I'm not sure it was for that, but I think he definitely got a stint in the jail. But when other people started finding out about it, imposing their morality on it, brought an end to all the this is why he said hell is other people. It's because, when they start feel you the guilt and the shame and everything else, they start saying, oh, look at that pervert, and all the rest. Then they start imposing morality on it, so it brought an end to the, whatever you want to call it, I don't know what you want to call it, parties, I'd say, parties, orgies, whatever you want. But that's why he said hell is other people. But that's why I say anything I ever did, I never did anything behind a curtain, because if I was doing it, I felt it was right. And that's why, I never make any secret about what I'm trying to do here. It's not actually what I'm trying to do. I am fucking doing it. It's is build a new hierarchical systems, but matriarchy as opposed to patriarchy. And the reason for this is because I want to facilitate an inversion of the hierarchies. In other words, everything, take their morality and all they did and all this, because what we had was a collaboration of weak individuals who had to build social structures in order to protect their own selfish interests. Do you know what I mean? So we had psychiatry, psychology, fucking the Prussian education system, the of course the church, but these are all men, and then who imposed their morality and their own selfish interests on everybody else and control everybody else, and the whole thing about this, like thou shalt not kill. But I was down in the church the other day, thou shalt not kill, and I was down in the church the other day, and it's all men on horseback spearing other men, and this is adorning the walls of the church, men killing other men off the backs of horseback. In other words, I'm up here and you're down there, you lowly cunt, and I'm going to spear you, and that's okay because I'm now in the position of power. This is where the oppressed become the oppressor, and this is what brings it around in a reoccurring cycle. But then you had other pictures where they were spearing the dragons, and I says, what's with spearing of the fucking dragons? So I went off and I looked up and said, I went off and researched the whole thing about spearing the dragons, and what the dragon is in Christianity is a symbol of well, they said it's evil, but really, it's not that it's evil, because in China the dragon is quite sacred. It's a symbol of power and freedom. A winged dragon is a power of freedom, because his wings, he can fly like a bird, he's free. And then he's mighty and powerful and free. And this is very dangerous for the Christians. This is very dangerous for the Christians. And all weak men, really, So the whole thing with them was to slay this dragon, to bring under control this powerful, mighty and powerful and free individuals. You get the idea. But then you see, we're going to turn it around now, because what Nietzsche said, the first dragon that has to be slain, if we want to reevaluate our values and define our own morality, the first dragon has to be slain is the dragon thou shalt. That's the first dragon. Thou shalt not do this. Thou shalt not do this. And this is the first dragon that has to be slain. And this is where the Stoicism comes in. That that you that you establish your own values by studying a little bit of philosophy, and you decide what you think is right, and you decide what you think is right, and then and wrong, and then you don't if you don't think is right, don't do it. It's that simple. If you don't think it's the right thing to do, don't do it. And then if you think it is the right thing to do, you don't have to do it under a curtain. You just mitigate the certain. Of course, there would be consequences, like there would be consequences for several of my actions. But this is why I'm sitting here in the middle of the Roman ruins here, making this video. This is to mitigate a consequence of my actions, like. But this is because you have to think ahead, and you have to mitigate these consequences. So, well, I'm not going to explain why, but I'm sitting here in the middle of the Roman ruins, in the middle of Plovdiv, because, well, because I'm going to control what's mine to control, and that's what it's all about. You learn to control yourself first. That's the first thing you have to learn to do, is learn to control yourself. And this is how to manage your emotions, that you don't get angry, you don't get envious, because if someone else can make you angry or envious or sad or happy or anything else, if you're not in control of your own emotions, if you're letting them emotionally manipulate you, and that includes buying shit, then you're not in control of yourself. And the first thing is to get in control of yourself, and then we can control those who we can control what's ours to control. We'll talk about that in a second. But then we can control and manipulate those who can't control themselves, and that's where the money's going to come from to build this empire. To be honest with you, we're going to exploit those that can't control themselves. And this is just nature. As I said to you, we're going to switch from prey to predator. And this is the best game. You pretend to be the prey, but you're really the predator. Because this is the best game now. Well, it's a game I've been playing for a while, but this is the whole thing of master and slave morality, you know what I mean? Yeah. This is what I was trying to explain to you the other day about Africa and China. Like, well, if you understood nature, but let's not get into that. I want to talk about ourselves. But so you have to learn what's yours to control. And the first thing is you have to realise you take the focus off what's not yours to control. Now, what's not yours to control is your thoughts. Now, your opinions, your judgments, they are yours to control. You can form your own opinions in relation to everything. You can make your own judgments in relation to everything. But you really ought to use reason in this regard, and really think about your opinions, and really think about your. Now, Epictetus would have said to say have no opinion, but I don't agree with that, because I like to impose my will on life. To be honest with you, I'm quite strong with the will to power, you know. And I like to impose my will. Not that I want to dominate anybody. I'm not going to dominate anybody. I'm just going to build my own hierarchical systems. I'm going to do what I like. And I'll leave them to do what they like, because I'm not going to do. Peterson's quite big on the dominance hierarchy. Peterson's big on the dominance hierarchy. But if I was big on the dominance hierarchy, I couldn't be where I am today, like, which is like I'm at the lowest rung. I'm cleaning toilets and yeah. But this like, one thing I've done all my life is I've had several businesses. I've had loads of businesses. I've had clothing franchises. I've had a talent shop. I've had a lift installation business. I've had a nail bar. I've had 2 gyms. I sold different things. Different lines, will we say. But I've had a lot of business and been involved in a lot of business ever since I was a chap, and a lot of I create from nothing, absolutely nothing, because I never used to hold on to money. I never really had money. I used to let it flow, and yeah, but this was very good training to say, yeah, because I'm still not going to cling to the money, because when you cling to the money, you can never make more money. You just, all you have is your fucking money, and money in and of itself is useless. You might as well wipe your arse with it. Like, what's the point? Like there's a neighbour of mine died with 1.7 million. I mean, like, well, he's not a neighbour of mine recently, but he's an old neighbour of mine. He died. Brother was telling me he died with 1.7 million. What the fuck is the point? Down with 1.7 million. Like, Jesus Christ. So he sat in the house, drank himself to death with 1.7 million in the bank. Wasn't that a wonderful way to spend life? Wasn't it, like? Didn't he have a marvellous existence? Wasn't that a great fucking use of his experience, of his time here on earth? To sit in his house and drink himself to death with 1.7 million in the bank. I think that's possibly the most miserable existence. You think they're bad in Africa, in the fucking cobalt mines? I think he possibly had a more miserable existence than them in the cobalt mine in Africa. I'd actually I'd actually be 99% on that. I'd be 99% on that. Yeah, but back to what was within our control. Yeah. So so after if we find, like, well, you can study the dichotomy to control yourselves. Look up the dichotomy to control from Epictetus, and then seek to understand this. And yeah, I'm not going to offer that you can message me, because I do enough for free. But I do enough for free. But uh, uh, then what is in our control is the next thing we have to learn is that our bodies are not up to us. Our bodies are not up to us. Our bowel movements are not up to us. We can't decide when we have to go for a shite and when we don't. Our bowel movements are not up to us. Whether we get sick or not, that's not up to us. But, like, like I've been sick. I've had several ailments. Like I've had no point going into them now, but I've had several things, and that was not within my control. But so our body's not all up to us. But the choices that we make in relation to our bodies, now they are up to us. I can choose what to ingest. I can choose what to eat, when to eat. I can choose, well, I can't choose when to eat at the moment because of fuck all money. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I can still reject certain foods if I want. I can reject certain foods. Like, that is within my control. I could also go and acquire certain foods, but I gave that shit up. Uh, uh, what else? Yeah, but I can, yeah. So you can choose when to eat, but you can choose what goes into the mouth. And this is why I say the start of discipline ought to be start to think about. You want to start thinking about what's within your control. A good place to start is start thinking about what you put into the mouth. Now the next thing is the fags, the liquor, everything else. But you see, the thing is, like, you have to ask yourself, why I'm eating this. Why am I smoking this? Why am I drinking this? And when you can answer these questions, but being brutally honest with yourself. For example, I don't smoke to deal with stress. Now I'll talk about stress in another morning. I'll talk about stress another morning, but I'll tell you about stress and how you and how yeah. I'll talk about stress another morning. It's just a whole subject in itself. But I don't smoke for stress. I smoke to parse information, because it hacks the acetylcholine receptors. It hacks the acetylcholine receptors, and therefore the brain doesn't get overloaded. Well, my brain doesn't get too overloaded anyway, because at this stage it's quite well used to being saturated with volumes of information. But at the same time, even if I'm sitting watching a shit show, I enjoy a fag and shit. So what the fuck is going on here? But I've had no fags for 2 days, and that's absolutely fine. Like, I don't have any addictions as such. I haven't had a drink since Christmas. Well, I know that's only a week ago, but like, I haven't drank much in several months anyway, so we don't have any problem that way. But basically, this is the whole key to addictions, is to identify the cause. That if you're addicted by something, you have to identify the cause. But if there is no cause other than that, yeah, well, I enjoy a drink, and I enjoy a fag, or I might drink with someone to talk philosophy, or I might smoke to pass information, or whatever the reason is. But just be brutally honest with yourself. So you can control whatever goes into the body. Now, you can also control the body. You can draw on it. You can do you can do tattoos. You can shave your hair any way you want. You can dress it up any way you bloody well want. And this is all within your control. And you can learn how to do this and overcome your insecurities and fuck everybody else. Then you can do what the fuck you want with your body. And that includes putting into it wherever the fuck you want as well. Now, I'm out of the gym for a while. But I will be going back to the gym. And I'm going back to there. Wait a minute. I get going like the universe just put me in and out of the gym, so it doesn't become an addiction either. Because I remember one time I was asked to go to Dubai. I had an opportunity to go to Dubai back when I was putting in the lifts, and I was offered a job in Dubai. And I wouldn't go to Dubai for the simple reason there was no steroids there. I concluded there was no steroids there, so and for this reason I refused to go to Dubai. And this was not a good reason not to go to Dubai. Now, not that I have any regrets. I have absolutely no regrets in life. No regrets whatsoever. I always say, if my auntie had balls, she'd be my uncle. But I never got to fucking finish this whole fucking thing. And I'm running out of time now. But I wanted to talk about, taking control of your body and not letting the men control the body. But I'm going to have to maybe talk about this now in another morning now. I'm after waffling on. Good morning. I'll talk to you later.